This is a Headgum podcast.
Hey, where the piano at, shawty? Y'all ain't never seen a dope boy play the piano and rap at the same time, have you? I'm gonna show you something. Dig this. I'm 22 and a vet in the game. Say I'm super cool, still a threat at the same time. Rhyme about the times I invested in Cain, pleasure and pain in every aspect of the game. I'm the answer to your prayers if you pray him for change. So I dare you compare us and say we the same. When I'm climbing the ladder, they stuck in the same mind frame. They accomplishments are nothing to gain. Eventually, see, I'm out of your range. Okay?
Wow.
That is a little bit of Be Easy by T.I. I simply can't keep saying the lyrics. And it is a gorgeous song. The year is 2003. What's going on in 2003? Everyone's wondering. Well, I'm here to tell you. This week, according to BuzzFeed News, they have a list of 40 pop culture moments that happened in 2003. But I'm not going to read all 40. I'm just going to read you some bangers. I'm just going to do 7. Okay? 7. 1, Finding Nemo, Pirates of the Caribbean, Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, and The Matrix Reloaded were the 3 biggest films of 03. Then the final installment of Lord of the Rings, huge. Then, wow, this is good. No Doubt, Sting, Shania Twain, Super Bowl halftime show. Crazy. Adrian Brody kissed Halle Berry when Halle Berry presented him with the Oscar. Do you remember that?
No, I do not remember that.
Nicole Kidman won Best Actress for The Hours, and Catherine Zeta-Jones won Best Supporting for
Thomas Crown Affair.
Chicago.
I don't remember any of that.
Chicago also was Best Picture that year.
Really?
Yep. Oh, I don't like that one. Oh, wow. This might not hit for you, but Vanity Fair published probably one of the most iconic covers of the early 2000s with all of like the young starlets, and it was a fold-out cover. And on this cover of Vanity Fair was, are you ready for this? Amanda Bynes.
Okay.
Alexis Bledel, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Mandy Moore, Evan Rachel Wood.
Evan Rachel Wood?
Yes. Raven Simone, which I found out is actually how we pronounce her last name.
Nah.
Yes, I think it's Simone.
Who said that?
I think Raven.
Raven said that?
I think Raven did say that.
There's no way that's...
Hilary Duff.
Okay.
And Lindsay Lohan.
That was a bit... so that's who was popping at that time?
Yes.
Wait, Evan Rachel Wood, isn't she the one that was in the Westworld?
Yes.
She was famous before that?
Yes.
I only know her from that.
13.
Oh.
No bra,
she
no
was in
panties.
13?
Yeah, she
the
was...
The movie 13?
Yes.
What?
She
that was Evan Rachel Wood?
Yes, she was the blonde.
Oh my God.
That Nikki Reed corrupted.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and I think
Evan
it's on
Rachel Wood was
now.
a child actor.
Wow, I had no idea.
She was also in Practical Magic.
I don't know.
She
that
played
movie.
young Nicole Kidman.
And that was what is that movie?
It's about Nicole. It's an amazing film.
Okay.
Starring Nicole Kidman, Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
They're sisters and they're witches.
Okay. No, I don't know that one. Okay, well, shout out to Evan Rachel Wood. She's
Shout out
getting
to
in. I didn't
Evan
know she
Rachel
was till
Wood.
Westworld.
Well, you know what? Now you know
and
her.
she's in it because she's in a bit. That cover is kind of
huge.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah,
The
very
Olsen.
legit. The one that I'm going to end on about 2003, because this is really huge and it's circling back to now. Wicked debuted on Broadway in 2003.
Okay. Man.
Crazy.
Not much of that resonates with me.
Well, we're going to get into that.
I don't know what. Yeah, like I
Well,
gotta
we
look
were
up
in
a
Atlanta,
different news
Georgia
story.
in 2003.
Uh-huh.
And we're Lamar Woods.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on my show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. So good to see you, Greta. What's good?
It's fabulous to see you. Now, I'm wondering, what was going on with you? Well, those are like very mainstream pop culture events.
Yeah, like I wasn't a fan of Chicago. I guess I didn't know that.
Well, you're not a musical theater head, perhaps, when you were in high school.
But I am now. I wish I could. That's something I wish I probably knew about. But for me, it was just a lot of rapping, like you did a great job with T.I.
Thank you.
T.I. was like my hero. I feel like I used to look like him. I feel like a lot
beautiful
of girls
eyes.
started. Yeah.
You both have beautiful eyes.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, Atlanta, kind of like Southern rap.
Yeah.
Town.
And he was like a small guy. I always looked up there because I was really small in high school. I mean, I'm still a small person, but I was like a little guy.
Yeah.
And T.I. was like kind of represented for the little skinny guys, but with big chest, big soul.
He is still a sexy man.
Yeah, he's doing all right. I mean, I don't know what he's up to.
Me either.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
A lot of iconic Atlanta rappers, Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So Gucci Mane, Jeezy. This was a big
UGK?
UGK is Texas, but all that Southern rap was was all like flourishing at that time. Like this was when I was in high school. It was definitely there was like because I was born in Connecticut in Hartford, and when I moved to Atlanta in middle school, I was in like the end of elementary school, and it was like still cool to be from New York.
Right.
Like New York hip hop was like the king, and then so I was kind of like. Yeah, I'm from Connecticut, which is close to New York or whatever. But right when I got to high school and middle school, like Atlanta that was when it was turning into like what it is now, which is like probably the most influential city in the country right now in terms of culture, I would say.
I mean, there's a lot happening in Atlanta.
Yeah,
I feel like, first of all, every single TV show and movie is shot there.
Yeah, like even the Marvel movies I'll be seeing, I'm like, hey, that's Peachtree Street.
They're
like,
all there.
Why is Wolverine on Peachtree Street? This is out of control.
I mean, Tyler Perry has also like changed
the
landscape.
Have you been there to his studio?
No.
Have you worked on anything that shot there? You ever been in any Tyler Perry?
I've never. I'm like, Tyler Perry, if you're listening, please put me in.
Yeah, get you in Sisters. Yeah.
I kind of feel like, do I belong in a Tyler Perry film?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I belong in one.
It kind of feels like the only person that belongs in a Tyler Perry film is Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
So there is that.
So the movie starring me first. But I do want to check out his studio.
Me too.
I keep forgetting every time I go back home. I'm like, I want to like just take the tour and see what that's like because I gotta imagine it's pretty impressive. Yeah.
I mean. That city, I grew up in D.C., and I do feel like...
that's a chocolate city, too. Yeah, it's a very black city.
It is known as that.
I don't know if we call ours a chocolate city, but it's definitely just a black city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
like caramel.
I think the thing that, like, the similarities between Atlanta and D.C. is, like, Atlanta, way more than D.C., is, like, a real city.
Yeah.
Like, D.C. is, like, a town.
Yeah, is it big? I mean, I only know
it's
DC
not
through
big,
the
but it's like
White House and stuff.
It's like when you tie in like Northern Virginia and Maryland, it becomes like bigger.
Yeah.
But I would not describe it like when I think of like second tier U.S. cities,
right.
Atlanta is
like
one of
metropolitan.
them. Yeah.
Even I will say Atlanta is like smaller. It's not as big as it feels when you get. You're like, oh, this is really more like even I grew up on the north side, which is like a suburb of Atlanta, but it feels like I'm from Atlanta because it's like it's not like it's like the opposite of LA where it's like it's just the downtown and then everywhere else is outside of Atlanta basically.
Was your high school big?
It was. What is big? I don't know. I never went to other high schools.
Some people on this show come on and they're like, I went to one of the biggest high schools in Texas and there were 2,000 kids in my grade.
Okay, so yeah, it was big. I had about 3,000 kids.
In your grade?
In my grade? No,
in your school.
In the school, I think.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
mean, 3,000 kids a grade would mean that your school was 12,000 students, which is like...
That's like a college.
A college, which is like a nice size college.
I think it's 3,000 total.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
tracks.
more sense.
That tracks. Were you like a sports person?
I did. I played I mean, not by choice. I think I was forced. No, I don't. I think I was like, I did football for a while.
Were you good?
I was good, but no, I quit early. I played in middle school, but I was just too small. I was getting hurt all the time.
Yeah.
But I was very good. Like I was like, they called me Woody. That was because my last name's Woods.
Yeah.
And they would, but I guess when you tackle somebody really hard, it's called putting the wood on them. So they would be like, he's puts the wood on you.
Yeah.
It's actually really sexual, like kind of a sexual thing. But a lot of sports and stuff was like that back then. But I was very small on the field, but I would just throw my whole body into the running back and tackle them, and people were very impressed by it.
That's impressive.
It was good.
Fearless.
I think if I didn't quit, I'd be in the NFL right now. Like I think
No.
I tell this story all the time, but whatever. It's been a while since I've told it. But
Let's hear it.
there's this moment where I feel it's like my spilled milk moment where like if I could change anything, I think my life would be completely different.
Right.
But I was so I was really good in middle school. I played cornerback, so I was like on defense, and but I was on a different. For some reason, I was playing because my best friend's uncle coached on Chattahoochee, which was a rival high school. But for some reason for middle school, I was playing on Chattahoochee, which I shouldn't have been. So then I got to high school, went to Centennial, and now I'm like in the new school. But I'm like, I got this rep because I was doing good over there. And they're like, oh, Lamar, we heard about you. You put the wood on him. The wood on him. And I was like, get ready for the wood.
Yep. And then
it was we didn't lose it. We didn't win any game that season. It was but it was the last season. It was the last game of the season, they just didn't want to play me. I think they were like, this guy's too small. We're not going to play him. But I was good though, and so I was always really upset about it. My parents were divorced at the time, and my dad was living on the other side of town, and so he finally came to a game. And it was the last game of the season. So my dad was there, and I was like really proud and really excited. I was like, oh, please, I hope I get in. And like it's the last game. And it was, we were up 1. It looked like we were going to win the game. And it's like fourth quarter. And then the coach looks at me and he's like, Woods, go get in there, right? And I look up, I see my dad. He's like so excited. He's like right there behind me. And then so I go in the defense. I'm guarding the receiver, and of course the quarterback throws the ball to the guy I'm guarding on the first play, and he throws it short, and then I jump up and I grab it, and it's like an interception. Everyone's going crazy. It was like,
oh my God.
And then I had like this open, I was like literally like I'm about to score a touchdown, like I'm about to run it back for a touchdown, and then I just did this weird thing where I was like, I forgot what game I was playing because I just did this like basketball move where I like put the ball behind my back like in a basketball, and then I just dropped it. I just dropped the ball, and then the receiver picked it up and ran for a touchdown, and we ended up ending with a tie game. And I went back, and my dad, I just saw the look on my dad's face was just like,
why'd you put the ball behind your back?
Yeah. It's like, isn't that what they do in sports? But then I did not quit after that. That was the last time I played football.
Damn.
But now I'm a creative person.
Yeah.
So I think, but if I would have ran that back for a touchdown, this is what I think would have happened. I think everyone would have made a big deal out of it because it's the only game we would have won, and they would have let me play next year, I bet, and they would have saw how good I was,
right?
And I would have actually probably been good, and I probably would be in the NFL right now. And now instead I'm on writer strike, which is fine.
Yeah, I was about to say, instead you're sitting here on my podcast, on strike.
Yeah. So but that's no use crying over spilled milk. You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
it's all good. But
I don't know if I know like what moments would have changed.
Yeah, do you have one like that?
I mean, there are moments when. Like, I was a really good dancer, ballet.
Yeah.
And, when I decided to quit, it's so hard, I think, as a parent to, like, know when to push your kid and when to just, like, fall back.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that my mom was a little more like, you should stick with it like you're good.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think the reality was, at the time, like, I didn't, kind of like how you were small for football. I had huge boobs, which is like not conducive at the time.
Right.
To ballet.
For ballet. Okay.
Like being curvy then.
Yeah.
As like in ballet was not a thing. Like, you know.
I had no idea.
And like, it's just now it's still not really a thing, but it's become more of a thing.
Right.
And
yeah, you could have changed the game. Like, it could have been like
Misty Copeland. No,
yeah.
But it's, I don't know if I should think about that.
Well, did you love it, or was it just like something you were doing because it was a thing to do? Yeah.
Because I loved it, and I loved to perform.
Yeah.
So like any opportunity that I had to perform, I loved.
Well, there's things I wish my parents introduced me to that I got introduced to late, where I'm like, okay, I learned how to play guitar like when I was 25.
Right.
But I wish they just bought me a guitar for Christmas. I mean, whatever.
But on the flip of that,
yeah.
And again, like my parents did a good job too.
Yeah. I don't want to be like, you guys did this.
My parents, like, I played the violin and I quit. I played the piano and I quit. So it's
right.
You know, you could have.
Yeah, but maybe I wouldn't have stuck with it.
Right, because when you're 25, like that kind of becomes like an organic interest of your own, where you're like, I want to do this. I don't have my parent telling me what my interests are going to be.
But I always get jealous of people who are like, I just met this person who was like, I've been, studying theater since I was a child.
Oh yeah.
And they're probably like the best. I feel like I just get jealous of people who are like Beyonce's like, she's just like she's that good because she's just been doing
she's
it
a machine.
Since she's like a 4-year-old or whatever. But I feel like late to the game or something.
I mean, when I meet people that have been doing stand-up since they were like teenagers, I'm like, what?
Yeah, how do you even know? Like, I want to tell jokes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I guess we were funny in high school. I'm sure you were funny though.
Yeah, I was definitely funny.
Yeah, did people think you were funny, or that was like a later?
No, I mean, I definitely think I was funny, but I also think I was like pretty guarded.
Oh, interesting.
I think I liked to maintain a level of like mystery. But I don't think I did, but I think in my high school like pea brain, I thought that by like being like an art girl was like me being mysterious.
Oh, interesting.
So what did you get into after football? And were you a good student?
No, I was terrible. I was like always getting kicked out of class and stuff.
Really? Why? Were you a class clown?
Yeah, which I didn't. I wish, I was always goofing around, but I think, I just wasn't good I just didn't like school. I didn't like studying. I didn't like homework. I didn't like any of that. It's hard for me to pay attention.
Yeah.
And I got good in college. I was good.
Right.
But this is about high school. We're not talking about college.
Nope, we're talking about high school.
And then I just remember I got kicked out of class once. There's this teacher, Mr. James. He had this neck chain that he wore with a lightning bolt on it.
Uh-huh.
And
very Elvis of him.
Yeah, is that an Elvis reference?
Well,
is that related to? Is that Elvis? Is that what that is? Because
he would wear
that actually helped me a lot.
The Elvis symbol is like a lightning bolt.
Really?
And then TCB on it. Why am I blanking on what TCB stands for again?
Taking care of business.
Yes. Is it?
No,
yes.
I'm like really bad at those.
No, it's literally taking care of business.
All right, let's take care. So maybe that's what it was. But so the word on the street is, this was like sophomore, and it was chemistry class. But when you would tell people, I'd be like, yo, I got Mr. James, and they would say he hates it when you bring up his chain. Don't bring it up or whatever. So the first day, I'm like, yo, what's up with that chain?
And what did he say?
He kicked me out of class.
Really?
He was like, Lamar, get out of here. And I was like, oh my God.
But how can you wear like a piece of jewelry like that and then get mad when someone
I don't know,
asks?
but now I'm like, was it an Elvis thing? I thought it was just like a stupid science thing because he likes science or whatever.
Right, where he's like energy.
Yeah, he's like bolt to lightning.
Yeah.
But it was like he knew people were fucking with him. I mean, he knew, he certainly knew we were making fun of him,
Right.
But I think, he did not like that. I don't know. So he kicked me out of class, and then I was sitting in the hallway. It was a lot of that, like just sitting in the hallway a lot, which is,
Which also kind of doesn't make sense because then they get mad at you for being behind, and they get mad at you for like not knowing what's going on. It's like, well, yeah, you kicked me out of class, so I had to miss the whole fucking class.
Yeah.
And now you're mad at me for falling behind.
It's like a weird punishment. Like the punishment should be stay in class or like sit here and read or read
and
to
like
the class
listen harder.
Yeah.
Or like write down everything I say. I don't know.
And I was sleep in class a lot. Do you do that?
Oh,
I was always sleeping
passing
in
out
class
all the time.
Yeah.
Warm room. I am lights out. I used to sit under the AC unit in like any classroom that I was in that had one.
Yeah.
I would be like, I would want to be under the draft because it would be the only way I could stay awake.
Yeah, I was a big pothead in high school. So that's what I did after football, was getting the weed.
Me too. I mean, me as well after football.
Yeah, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a natural progression. And my friend, he used to take me to school, and like he had a car, you know, the one friend with the car. So he would take me, and then we would have homeroom together. It was crazy too. Were you in high school during 9/11? Actually,
I was in middle school during 9/11.
Oh yeah, I was in high school. I was in I think, what is that? Yeah, like sophomore. Whatever.
You were freshman. You were sophomore.
Yeah, because I was like 03, then 01, whatever it was.
Yeah,
it was
your sophomore year.
I was so stoned when we found out. We were like, he picked me up for school.
Or your junior year. Sorry.
I don't know. I'm so bad at that kind of conversation.
Because it was September. That was your junior year.
Yeah, because then I graduated 03.
Yeah.
But it was in 01, right?
You started high school in 99.
Uh-huh.
So 99 to 2000 was your
I'm just gonna
freshman year. 2000 to 2001 was your sophomore year. 2001 to 2002, because it was in September of 2001.
Okay, got it. I'm glad. I should know this.
You know, we're just getting our facts straight on where we were on 9/11.
Whatever. All right. Well, I was stoned out of my mind because we were like, he picked me up, we smoked out of the bong, and then we went in the whole room, and then it was immediately like the first thing that happened. It was crazy, and they turned it on. The TV was watching. It was really wild. But that was like my one of my closest friends. And then once I quit football, I would just, you know, after school, then we just doing that now.
Smoking
my whole
weed.
grade was like the pothead grade. Like there was the grade above us was a little more bro-y and stuff, and like everyone like Lincoln Park and stuff, but our grade was more like we were into like jam bands, like String Cheese, Incident, and Fish, and that kind of shit. And
Disco Biscuits.
No, I don't know. I mean,
Mountain Goats. There was a Fish show in town like the weekend before last.
In LA? Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't keep listening to it.
Honey, you literally couldn't pay me money to listen to Fish. I understand that it's music, and like hats off to Trey Anastasio and the whole gang, but I just don't like, it does not compute in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this?
Well, it's hard to beat. And then when I like the festival because I like we would do drugs and stuff.
That's very Atlanta as well, because then you have a whole other like chunk of music scene in Atlanta, which is kind of like bluegrassy bands.
Yeah, we've got Allman Brothers from there up in Athens. Like we used to go to Athens a lot, go to UGA. Drive up there.
I famously had to bail my friend out of jail in Athens.
Really?
Yes.
Why? Oh, you don't have to tell me.
No, I mean, it's truly like drinking underage on the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
And the cops just like, we were visiting our friend at UGA. And the cops, you know, the college cops just like arresting anyone they can.
Yeah.
So I had to bail her out of jail. And I remember I also was so drunk when she got arrested.
And why you went up there?
And like I somehow didn't get nabbed. I don't know. And then like I had to go to a bail bondsman, and they had these T-shirts that I thought was so funny that said, "The name's Bond, bail bond." And I was like, oh, they're getting creative at this bail bondsman.
They have the best right. Like I think a lot of the strike writers went to go do that.
Yeah, become bail bondsmen.
Because they all the bail bondsmen have some clever type of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that was that energy. I had like two sets of friends. I had like a hippie friends with potheads, and then I had my like street friends who were, you know, rapper drug dealers. It was like a weird like Venn diagram of like, you know, hustlers and really friendly.
I mean, that's kind of, I feel like, the beautiful like blend of high school.
Yeah.
Because it's like the one time in your life when you are all just like involuntarily mixing among each other.
Yeah.
But you have to. Where now as adults, we get to like pick and choose who we hang out with and like how we spend our time.
Yeah, like I was like, let me get rid of all these hippie guys. with the street guys.
No, were you like in a Birkenstock hanging out with your hippie friends?
No, I was always like me. I didn't change. That was a cool thing. I think that's maybe that might be an Atlanta thing, but because Atlanta, the culture in Atlanta is so hip hop that I didn't. I'd be at a Derek Trucks concert, but wearing like FUBU.
Love that.
But like fully, like I never adjusted to that crowd. I was just there.
You were just there to smoke pot and hang out and have a good time.
But the music was good. I mean, obviously I liked it, but I also, I never had to like assimilate to that world.
So you were not a good student?
Nah.
But you were probably like adored.
I was liked. I was well liked in school. I just felt like I just was. I think now looking back, I just like really didn't. I think I might have been dyslexic. I think I still, which is why it's so hard for me to text people back. Because when you are you good at texting people?
No.
Do you think it's like because I think people who are bad at texting, I think the reason is because when I text somebody, it's like a kind of a longer process.
Yeah.
And I feel like for other people, they're just, I'm here. This is what I'm doing. And then for me, I'm like, it's like I got to remember how to spell like these words. And it's like, and I just don't do it. So then I hate
texting.
Yeah.
I'm a call girl.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a call girl.
Hey.
I will call you. But I also find that I have a tendency to sound really cold in texts because like I can sound short.
Yeah.
Even though like I don't mean to be short. But sometimes I'm like either I sound short or I'm overcompensating.
Yeah.
Like I'll send a text and I'll be like, yeah. And then I'm like, and what I meant, I mean, like, yes, like excited, like I'm happy. But like, then I'm just like, oh, don't do that. Like, that's also embarrassing and stupid,
Yeah. There's some people who are on it, though, that know how to do it. And they're like,
I'm also like
sure of themselves.
Not a great emailer. Like,
yeah, me either. Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, again, I'm like, I fear that I can either come off as overcompensating or being cold.
Right.
It's like there's no normal.
Yeah.
Because I also like I text like I'm 75 years old. Like I use emojis all the time. I'm like smiley face, like hee hee, like.
Yeah, me too. I can't. I don't know how to express myself.
Yeah.
But do you FaceTime people
all the time?
That's the new thing. People will just FaceTime you.
It's so intrusive, though. It's so fucking intrusive.
Yeah,
I like
when my family does it because I like seeing them.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, they're nice.
Wait, you said your parents were divorced. Did they get back together?
No, they stayed divorced.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was like they were divorced and they got back together.
No, that's the plot of Ticket to Paradise, which I watched last night.
I mean, spoiler alert.
Oh my God.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry,
Did they get back together?
I mean,
I thought it was
know?
like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. I was really upset by that, especially as a child of divorce. I was like, that would never happen. Like, no way.
I do know 2 people's parents who got back together.
Really?
Yes.
And they're happy? How long have they been back together?
Well,
there's no way. I can't imagine my parents getting back together ever. Like,
I think there's a window. Like for both of these couples, they weren't divorced for that long.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like they were divorced for like 3 years, and then
so
they got back
just
together.
Separated a little
it was like like a breakup, and then got back together.
Yeah.
I think that it's like crazy to think about if your parents had been divorced since how old were you?
So they were divorced when I was 16 in high. So when I was in high school.
Okay, so this is 21 years later.
Yeah.
That would be.
You're so
you
good
wouldn't
at
even
math,
want that.
Yearly math. I'm not good at that shit at all. Like, I don't know.
The only reason why I know is because you're the same age as my sister.
Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
I can like put
you have, like,
it
a
together.
Frame of reference. Yeah.
But like, you would be upset if your parents got back together at now.
Yeah, like the inner child in me would be like, where was this energy?
Yeah, you're like, was that hard for you when your parents got divorced when you were in high school?
I think divorce. I mean, look, I don't know if they're gonna hear. I don't want to put their shit out there, but I think divorce is one of the hardest. It's one of the most common things that is happening, but I think it's incredibly traumatic to children. But I think no one really talks about it.
My parents got divorced when I was 21.
Really?
Yes. And like, I almost feel, of course, divorce is like hard no matter what age.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like the older you get, the harder it becomes. Because like when you're 16, 17, whatever, you understand how relationships are supposed to function.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're like 5, you're of course confused. But you have like a longer runway to like adjust to your parents.
I wonder about that because I have 2 sisters. One was so if I was 16, she was 8 when my parents got divorced.
She like hardly remembers them together.
She has a much, her relationship with my step parents is strong, like not stronger, but I could tell that it's not as weird for her. Yeah. Where like me and my other sister, it was like, oh, there is like a new adult in my life. And I'm already kind of an adult. Yeah,
because when you're 16, you like do feel like you're a full-on adult.
Yeah, like you can drive around and stuff.
I'm driving my car. Yeah. I'm like rolling joints. Like
trying ecstasy.
Smoking cigarettes, doing ecstasy, whatever. So you were doing drugs outside of pot.
A little bit, yeah, but not, mostly psychedelics. But I was a good kid. I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so I wasn't allowed to do any of this stuff.
Wow.
I wasn't allowed to celebrate birthdays or whatever. But I think what happened was my parents got divorced. My dad was like a high up person in the Kingdom Hall, whatever we call it.
Yeah.
And but we're not supposed to get divorced though.
Right.
So when that happened, he had to leave. He left the church or whatever.
And did he like rejoin secular?
He didn't. I wouldn't say he rejoined it, but his wife, my stepmom, was fully locked in, and she was like, "We celebrating Christmas, like this is so ridiculous." So that was my first time celebrating it when my dad got remarried.
So when you were like 17?
Yeah. That was, and then even then I felt really guilty. I didn't buy anybody gifts. I just took the gifts. They were giving it to me, and I was like, "All right." And then I would do that for a few years, and then I was like, "All right, I think I got to participate now because I'm just like halfway celebrating this holiday."
Were you religious, like yourself?
Yeah, I totally. I mean, I was born. They raised me in that religion, so I believed in it. And then when I went to college, I studied religion. So that's a whole nother story. Like I said, we're not going to talk about college.
We can.
Well,
where'd you go to college?
I went to Georgia State.
Oh,
so
cool.
Yeah, straight right out the. But I went to Georgia Community College first.
So when you were in high school and when you were a Jehovah's Witness, like how did you grapple with that?
Oh yeah, it was hard. Like I didn't date at all. It was weird. It was like they call it, the Jehovah's Witness would call this a double life, what I was doing.
Right.
Like it was like I had my life as a Jehovah's Witness person who'd go door to door and knock on people's door. And then my other life was hanging out with my secular friends, smoking weed and partying and stuff.
Would you feel guilty when you would hang out with them?
Yeah, but not for the reasons you would think. I'd feel guilty because they were all really good people. Like I think I was like, really, it made me more confused.
Right, because you were like, they can't come to heaven with me.
Yeah. I was like, this seems like a good person. My best friend at the time he was pretty much an atheist. And I was like, but in every aspect of life, he was a pretty high moral person.
Right.
So I was like, this is really hard for me to understand as a kid, I was
right.
like, oh, so that made me feel guilty because I was like, oh, I feel like there's something wrong with this religion or something wrong with what's happening here. Because I didn't feel bad when I was with them, which is, wild.
It's so interesting. I have family that are Jehovah's Witness. Mm-hmm. And, I am someone, like in high school, I would have said that I was an atheist.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am agnostic.
Right.
Like, I definitely have to believe in something bigger than myself.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, life is fucking hell. If all that I'm thinking
especially
is
these days.
Yeah, if all that I'm thinking is just oh, this is it. That doesn't bring me peace. You know what I mean?
There's a giant picture of you staring at me.
Yes, moi staring at me. She's really clocking me. But maybe it's like the Mona Lisa. And if you look at my eyes, I follow you.
Yeah, I like the pearls. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Religion's complicated. I also think it's really complicated when you're a teenager and are a religious teenager.
Yeah, no, I was very religious. I like knew the Bible. Like, I remember at our school we had like a school TV show that my friend used to run, and he interviewed me. It was like Christmas. It was like everyone's going on Christmas break, and it was like a big montage, and it was like every student getting interviewed. What are you gonna do for Christmas break? And my friend, I'm still friends with him. He lives out here actually, and he showed me the footage. And it's just me talking about how illegitimate Christmas of a holiday Christmas is. We should have, like, I'm literally just like, well, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna be celebrating Christmas because that's not actually Jesus' birthday, and it's all pagan like religion. And like it's just like that was looking back. I was like, oh, I probably didn't make any friends doing that, but
at the same time, like you're not
right.
wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's cooler as an adult to say shit like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes you more like. Like educated or something. But as a kid, like, Christmas is really a really nice holiday.
Yeah, as a kid, you're like, shut the fuck up. You're like,
I want my
Christmas
fucking gifts.
is when I get my gifts and when I get to hang out with my family and my mom like cooks food or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't get none of that. I still, that's why when I have a birthday party now, that's why, I don't know if you know this, but I throw a big birthday party every year.
Never been invited?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
When's your birthday?
Actually, this year I'm not going to do a party, so don't.
When's your birthday?
May 26th is coming up.
Oh my God, really soon.
Yeah, it's really soon. I can't do it this year, though. I spent too much money on my last one.
What did you do for your last one?
Well, technically, when I say last one, I mean New Year's. I threw a New Year's party that I think I did invite you.
I actually think I could have been invited.
You to that.
Yeah.
I did because I remember being like, I want her to come. But
I was in Idaho. So.
Everybody was gone, but the reason I did it was because nobody celebrates New Year's in LA. I feel like, and I was like, you know what? I'm doing it in LA this time.
And was it fun?
It was amazing. It was like one of the best parties I've ever thrown.
Where was it?
It was at the Athletic Club, LA Athletic Club.
Wow.
It was huge. Like I bought out the whole spot. And
oh my God.
It was we were in black tie. We had DJ, we had food. It was pretty, but it was really expensive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it if I knew we were gonna go on strike. But now my birthday's coming up and I'm just like, I can't do that again.
Have like a little barbecue.
I'm gonna do I'm just gonna go do it like those normal like, hey, meet me at this bar kind of thing.
Yeah.
I might do that.
That's easy.
Yeah. This is my first time, but the reason I do it is because I'm making up for
your childhood dreams.
Yeah, because I never got to do it for as a kid.
Did you ever go to any Sweet 16s?
No, we don't do none of that. Yeah, I was
like you weren't even allowed to go and participate at someone else's birthday.
No,
wow. Well, I guess that would be celebrating a birthday.
Yeah, we didn't. Like I didn't celebrate. Like I sometimes feel guilty because I kind of forget my parents' birthday.
Right.
Because we never celebrated it.
Is your mom still?
No, none of them are. This is why it's such bullshit. Because I'm like, after the divorce, they all just gave up, and then I was like, man. So I was really. To be real, I was the last. We don't have to like keep talking about Jehovah's Witness stuff.
No, I mean, I find it interesting.
Do a Leah Remedy podcast, but I was.
Yeah, I'm like, and welcome to Going Clear, part 10.
Let me tell you about the trauma.
Yeah.
But I really believe that shit.
Right.
I was doing that shit since a babe. Like they put me in that. I was going 3 times a week. So when they got divorced, I really was struggling with that, and I was still going. I was still going to the Kingdom Hall, but everyone else was stopped. And I was like, we got to go, guys. What are we doing? And then eventually, once my stepmom, I got closer to her and just like, it was just more and more just like, this is just too, I don't know why I'm maintaining this. And then I went to school and studied religion at a state school, and then when you do that, you realize like none of this shit is real.
Yes.
So after that, I was like, whatever. But now I'm kind of annoyed because of like if you guys were just gonna give it up like that easily, you could have just let us like at least get Halloween and because now I actually would love to celebrate Halloween in that way, but it's kind of not fun to me as an adult. Like I don't really like dressing up.
Do you want kids?
Yeah.
So then you have time.
I can do it with them, yeah.
Because that's when Halloween's fun. That's when all of those things are fun. When you have like a child that thinks it's legit.
Yeah, so then I can celebrate their birthday. I can do all the things. You're right, yeah. Okay.
That's why we need to have kids, to correct our own trauma.
That's what it is, yeah.
We put it all on our kids. Speaking of trauma, knock, knock, knock. Are we in the high school guidance counselor's office? Why, yes, we are.
Hey.
Welcome. I'm your high school guidance counselor.
What's up? Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I saw you in the cafeteria. I said hi. You didn't say
Yes,
anything.
I ignore all students outside of my office as a good therapist. So in this chunk of the show, you get to rectify a wrongdoing of your high school past. You get to say fuck you to someone or apologize to someone or both.
Wow.
And then, after we cleanse ourselves, you never think about it again.
Can I do both? So
You
one
can
or
do
the
both.
other? Okay.
Both.
I want to apologize. Who do I want to apologize to? I want to apologize to my sister because she was 1 year younger than me. And I feel like whatever reason, it was just like we weren't as close in high school. Like I feel like she had her friends,
Yeah.
and I had my friends, and they just did not cross over at all. I wish we were more like like in a sitcom where the brother like in Seventh Heaven where they were like, that's my I feel
Seventh
like,
Heaven.
Yeah, because my sister used to hang out with gangsters. Like she would date she's really pretty. And I felt like I was the older, I was trying to be the older brother, and but she would date like street dudes. Like I'm like, I can't fight these guys; they'll kill me. And then one time my mom went out of town. This is when we were staying with my mom, she was went to like out on vacation or something, and then it was like me and my sister, and we were like, all right, it's time to we finally got the apartment to ourselves. Let's invite our homies. And then she invited all her friends, which was like all these hood dudes. And then I invited all my friends, who were like kind of like big football player black dudes. So it was like this weird divide. It was like football black dudes versus like street black dudes. And it was like literally you could cut the tension with a knife in there. It was crazy. I was like, it's gonna go down at some point.
And
I there was a moment where, because all the guys that she hung out with went to a different school, like a school that was like where I used to go. So I knew them. I knew some of these guys from when I was in middle school.
Right.
But I didn't have a relationship with them after. And one of the guys, we kind of like we both went to. I went to the refrigerator to get something, and the other guy went there, and I kind of like broke the tension. I was just like, remember like so and so teacher or whatever, and then we kind of like started laughing about it, and then everything kind of
and then everything was at ease.
Yeah, but it was definitely like. The wrong thing could have been, because I always feel like protective of her. Yeah. Because I'm like, I know these guys, and I know I don't want her dating guys like that. But at the same time, she gonna make her own decision. That is
the truth with teens.
Yeah, and it's like
they
whatever.
really make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Were you guys like having a party?
Yeah, I guess it was. I mean, it was like the apartment part. It was like we lived in a
Cramped,
2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
It's like, so it was just like one of those apartments. But it felt
everyone's
like a party.
Like standing around and drinking beer or whatever, and looking at each other like, hey.
Yeah, and it's like all those apartments in Atlanta look exactly the same. They all have like gated, that community. It's like, but yeah, I think I wish we were close. I wish not that we weren't not close. We just weren't.
No, you wish that it was like an idyllic.
Yeah, like
thing.
I wish we blended our high school experiences. Like I feel like our high school experience was very separate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
And who would you like to say fuck you to? Did you have one of those?
I would say fuck you to Mr. James, because I was like, man, you get me kicking me out of class.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Because now I'm like, if that was an Elvis thing, I would have respected that. I wonder. I bet that's
and we'll
what it
never
was.
know. We hope.
I feel like now that I'm an adult, I'm like I have a tattoo of a lotus flower on my arm. I'm like, if I was a teacher, I feel like people would just make fun of that.
If a student were to be like, what is that? What would you say?
I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah. Like, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah, you don't know shit about lotus flowers.
Shut your mouth and you talk to me.
Yeah, or if they thought they made light of it, I definitely would be annoyed by that. I don't think I would kick them out of class.
Do you think you'd be a good teacher?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you would too.
I always thought about doing it.
You give me good teacher energy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be good at math because I clearly don't know what year 9/11 is.
Well, I mean, who have we had? We've had on quite a few people that have been teachers.
Langston Kerman.
Oh, yeah, Langston Kerman.
Oh, he's a teacher?
Iconic teacher.
He's so funny.
Yeah. But like, it is interesting now to look back at your teachers and to think like, oh, they're just like people dealing with their lives.
Yeah.
Because like when you're in high school, well, especially when you're in elementary school, they're like, you feel like they only exist in like the simulation
that like you,
is
like,
they're like Sims, like
Yeah.
they're only like at the school. And then I
Yeah.
remember when you would like see a teacher out in the wild,
Right.
it is so jarring because you're just like, whoa, you're alive out of the walls of the high school.
Yeah. Like we had a teacher, she was a Atlanta Falcons dancer, like a
Really?
cheerleader. And that was like, or Atlanta Hawks. It was the Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Falcons, but that was weird seeing her doing that. Like,
That's bizarre.
But yeah, but now as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, she probably couldn't afford to do. Like,
Yes.
But yeah, I definitely, I really empathize. I have some friends who became teachers too, and actually ended up teaching at my high school that I went.
Wow.
They taught at the high school we went to high school at, which is interesting.
I mean, whatever. That's nice. Kind of full circle.
Yeah, I mean, it seems nice or not, I
Or
don't know.
something.
Yeah. I'm not
High
sure if
schoolers
it's cool
scare me. Like teenagers scare me.
Yeah,
To be honest.
I think they're also, it's dangerous now because of social media and stuff. I feel like I'd be curious what the boundaries are like, because like there's teachers now you can, or like, I mean, I'm not on Facebook, but I feel like I'm sure my teachers, I do remember like when I was on Facebook.
Yeah. Teachers like friending
they like
you.
knew that I was like, they were like, hey, you're right on New Girl, like cool, like I'm proud of you or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, like that's interesting to keep up.
You're like,
with them.
you're proud of me now? You were kicking my ass out of class.
Mr. James is not proud. It's like
he's there. He's out there.
I can't wait for him to hear this.
I can't. We should send this directly to Mr. James.
He's gonna be like, I didn't kick you out of class.
Yeah.
Lamar. That's how he tell you, like Lamar.
I love impressions of teachers is very fun.
Because I bet he's not like that at all. I bet that's the like
How old was
Rugrats
he?
version of what's in my head. How old was he?
Yeah.
He was older. He was probably, I mean, as far as I know, he had gray hair and shit. He was probably like
So he's dead,
50,
basically.
yeah.
He was 95 years old.
I feel like he was in a cult. Maybe I feel like the lightning bowl is a cult thing.
It could have
I
been.
don't know.
Let's just say that. He was in a cult. He didn't want to tell you about the cult.
All I know is what didn't start with me. Like it's something that was the word on the street. But yeah, I would say fuck you to. No, I don't want to say that to him. He's a teacher. Like,
okay.
I don't know.
You don't need to say fuck you to anyone if you don't have it.
I really had a good time. I really liked everyone.
Good.
I got along with everybody.
Fabulous. We love hearing people have good experiences in high school.
Yeah. So yeah.
No girlfriend?
No. I guess I would say fuck you to no girlfriend, to not having
a girlfriend.
But I didn't know how to date. I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah.
And then I was saving myself and stuff. But I didn't. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. I mean, no.
I didn't have my first girlfriend until I was like 25.
That's probably smart.
I don't know. I feel like it's made me have a hard time with commitment now.
Well,
Because I feel like, or I don't know. Well, go ahead. What were you about to say?
I think that like high school relationships for the most part are bad.
Yeah.
And like tumultuous. And you're so hormonal. You're dealing with so many emotions that are so big.
Yeah.
That like, I don't know. I also think they're a fucking distraction.
Yeah, from like regular life.
Yeah, and just like from your friends. Like there's so many times I wish I could have gone back in time and been like, wow, wouldn't it have been so cool if you just hung out with your friends rather than like.
So you were in a relationship?
Yes, I was like addicted to boys. I like couldn't get enough.
Really?
And I don't even know if it was like I was horny. Like, yes, I was horny, but like I think I just like wanted their like love and attention.
Well, yeah, I wanted that too. I just did. Like, I remember one time I was such a loser. I was like, I'm gonna ask this girl out. And we didn't have cell phones back. I feel like an old ass person.
No.
But we didn't have cell phones like that. But like, there was this girl I had a crush on, and I was just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna, after class, I'm just gonna go up to her and see if she wants to like go on a walk after school. And she was like, yeah. I said, hey, would you be down to go on a walk with me after school? And she was like, I would love to. And then I was like, I asked for a number, and my hands were sweaty, and she like wrote it in my hand, and my hands were so sweaty, it just didn't stick at all.
Oh no!
And then I just never went out with her. I just never got, because I never had the number. I didn't have enough to read it.
And you wanna know what's funny? I bet you like now to this day, she's like he rejected me. Like I gave him my number and he rejected me, not knowing that it slid off your hand. Those sweaty palms.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I mean, I did see her. I mean, I guess we did. I didn't. I just was too embarrassed. It was just.
You should definitely do the very sane thing and reach out now and send her a long apology.
I don't even remember her name at this point. But yeah, dating was hard for me, and I found myself in the friend zone a lot. Like, I was like always friends, but never got to that point. But,
well, the best ones were always friends.
Yeah.
The best people to possibly date, always your friend.
Oh, but what I was gonna say is, I think. So this is what I'm wondering. So like my first girlfriend, she was in a relationship for 6 years before I started dating her, and I had not been in a relationship before. And sometimes I feel like I wish I knew what it's like to have a girlfriend, because I feel like sometimes things that might be normal relationship stuff was like freaking me out, or like, you know what I mean? Like if you had a relationship in high school, you kind of won't get freaked out if like they show up to bring you soup or something.
Yeah. I think that like relationships in like college, like definitely are good for like the training wheels of understanding like commitment and like caring for another person. I gotta get my girlfriend a gift on Valentine's Day or stuff like that. I don't know. But I guess they're not hard to learn. It just depends on the right person. You know what I mean? Like I was like a little bit of like a fuck boy in all of my relationships until the relationship I'm in now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was a little fucker. You know?
That's what's up.
But it's like, just because I was in relationships doesn't mean I was like good at being in relationships.
Yeah, okay. That's what I think. Like, I think maybe my point of view is like just like the grass is greener kind of thing. Like,
also, by the way, you can be in relationships forever and be awful at being in a relationship.
Yeah, because I feel like, I'm like, is there something wrong with me?
No.
And then I'm like, because I got friends who since high school have always had a relationship.
You're perfect.
And I'm like, are they just meeting the right person, or are they just staying in a toxic thing?
That's also not healthy. That's not healthy. Serial monogamy, not healthy.
Yeah.
You have to be fine being alone with you, because, honey, we are born alone. And unless you're a twin.
Oh.
But,
yeah, good call.
But we also die alone.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's it.
Okay.
You know, as my Sicilian grandmother would say, Oggi bambini domani morte. Today you're a baby, tomorrow you're dead.
She would say that?
Yes. So on that note.
No, thank you for making me feel better about that. I always felt embarrassed that I hadn't had a girlfriend in high school.
No, people that have and I'm talking to myself, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You're way cooler for having friends, for being the friend, because guess what? Then you had fun. Like now when I look back in high school, you know what tarnishes my high school experiences? My fucking loser boyfriend. You know? Like had I not had him, that's maybe my turning point that we were talking about.
Okay.
Like had I just not...
Yeah, you'd be a totally different
I'd be a totally different person.
Because you're like still developing as a human. And you're like, you're trying to develop with this other partner.
My God. Yeah. My confidence would be through the roof had I never dated him.
All right, well, I feel so much better.
Yes.
Thank you, guidance counselor.
You're pristine.
We're still in the guidance counselor
Yeah,
scene,
we are.
Right?
But now we're not. Now I want to know, if you could go back in time and give your high school self any advice, what would it be?
It would be to not be afraid to I don't know, to just go all in with the music. I was doing the music, and I think I was going hard, but I think I was a little intimidated by this Atlanta. I was a rapper before I started doing this comedy stuff. And I'm a rapper again now.
You
recently.
Are?
Yeah. I just started doing it again. So I'm reconnecting with the high school version of myself. But in high school, I was fully a rapper.
Post-football, you were like...
Post-football, I got into rap music.
You're like, I'm rapping.
I was rapping. I was putting out music videos. I was battling people.
Really? You were doing ciphers?
Yeah. We had this big... Because we had these South Side guys. So I lived on North Side, but it was the South Side, people in College Park and stuff would come up. And we always had beef, and then and then the best rapper from the North Side would battle the rapper from the South Side. What
is your rap name?
It was Prof. We used to call it Prophecy, but everyone called me Prof.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, and but
are you now Prophecy again?
No, I'm just go by Lamar now.
Okay,
but everyone calls me Prof still. My Instagram is Profmatic.
That's so nice.
Yeah, I was good, but I was also a little intimidated by. I wasn't a tough guy, I wish I was a little, I would tell myself to not be worried about being hard, you know?
Right.
Like don't try to be hard. Just be yourself, because eventually that style of music will become popular and people will be celebrated for being themselves.
Yes.
Even within hip hop. Like when you see like Tyler the Creator or whoever. But back then it was like T.I. was like the closest I can get to like.
But T.I. was like, even though T.I. was rapping about like, you know, lifestyle shit and like superficial
Well, let's go back
things.
to the lyrics. You should read it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna read the whole. Imagine me be like, now I'm gonna read the whole thing. But there was still something like he not conscious. That's not correct.
He was definitely like
he was more. His lyrics were like more intelligent than the other mainstream.
Right.
And I hate using that word intelligent because that sounds classist. But
he just was like slightly more aware of the negative. Like if you're like, you know, he talks about selling drugs and the trap and stuff, but he's also like giving you the other side of that and this sort of like it ain't always, you know, it doesn't always work out.
Right.
Where I think that was probably the closest at my age I was getting to a rapper who was considered like tough and hard, but also like willing to be like soft, like open up and sensitive.
And especially if you're talking about like mainstream pop, like because that to me, hip hop was pop.
Yeah.
At that time, like right, like that's how I felt. Like I felt like it was so much like Ludacris.
Yeah, like the yeah, I forgot about him.
You know, Atlanta rapper.
Great guy.
Usher.
He went to Georgia State too. Usher used to live in we used to party in his neighborhood.
In Buckhead?
His little brother dated someone who went to my high school.
Love that.
It was crazy.
You know, I feel like that. Whatever. This is a whole separate conversation. Not needing to do with high school. But I think that it was like.
To be fair, yes and no. It was getting to that place, but I think when I was in high school, it was definitely still like.
Oh, well, I guess when you were in high school, you had a lot of like pop princesses too, and boy bands.
Yeah, like all that stuff was still popular.
Yeah, that's
like rap
true.
music was still like hardcore a little bit, but it was transitioning. It was turning into something else. I think. I
love music.
Oh,
a little bit about me. I love music.
That's
Where
what I would
can we
say.
listen to your music now?
Just go on Spotify, Apple, just type in Lamar Woods. It'll pop right up.
Wow.
I just put out an album called Wine Bars.
Oh my God.
And it's about drinking wine. But it's the best album. I mean, it's like, it's like if I only knew that, if I could tell myself, like, you're going to end up rapping about drinking wine.
Yeah.
That I think, you don't worry about rapping about guns or like shooting people or whatever.
No, it's about wine, honey. It's about a nice cab.
Yeah.
In a big glass.
Yeah.
It's about the notes that hit the nose.
Yeah, we hitting the notes and the notes on the beat. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I would tell myself. But
that's
also,
a good thing.
I was still kind of myself too. But
Yeah.
just knowing that it was okay,
Did you go to your senior prom?
Yeah.
What'd you wear?
A white tux. It was just a white tuxedo. Yeah.
Did you have like a matching cummerbund situation with your date?
Yeah, she wore a black dress, and then I wore a white tux, and then we had she had the white. What is it called? The cummerbund?
Yeah. A white corsage.
Yeah. She had that. Then I had the black. I was like, we were coordinated for sure.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Was it your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it
but you
ended
had
up
fun.
I did like her. I don't know if she know that. It's funny. I was just talking about this in therapy.
You know what? The podcast is therapy.
It is. It's the way. I've never been on this side of the couch. For some reason, this does feel more like therapy on this side. But you're listening so well. No, I had a crush on her. I asked her out prom, but I think she just saw me as a friend. And yeah. But
also, though, it is nerve-wracking on the flip side of that.
Yeah.
To be asked to prom, because then I also think if you're being asked, you're like, what does this mean? Like, what's expected of me? Like, so you kind of go into it, I think, wanting to kind of be like, okay.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I'm just going to play
It's like
it
getting
cool.
married in high school, but without
kind of.
like dating first.
Yeah. It's intense. And also it's like the pressure too of.
It's like Love is Blind. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
The pressure too of like, and I think that this has changed now in high school, but like revealing, like a woman revealing their beauty in like a prom dress was like such a thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like what's that song? Tonight it's gonna, or like I don't want to wait for our lives, and then they're walking down the stairs and shit, and it's like, wow, they're like
she's all
presenting
that
to me or something. Yeah. But I was glad I went with her though, because we generally we had a good ass time.
I love that.
Because she was a friend. But I whatever.
White tux.
White
classic.
Tux, clean. No, didn't get no Benihana's meat on it.
Danced.
Yeah, we danced.
Drank.
Went to a party after. It was great. Definitely like quintessential like high school.
I love that
experience. Yeah.
And my last question of the pod, if you can believe we've hit the end of your therapy session.
Oh my God.
Is, did you have a senior superlative?
Yeah. I was voted most likely to be famous. Yeah. Ain't that wild?
And the kids are tapped in, they're intellectual, they're onto something.
Yeah.
They know.
It was I'm not there yet, I don't think, but we're working on it.
We are working on it. And especially now, all of my little listeners are going to go and stream your music.
Yeah, go check it out.
They should.
Can I promote something?
No.
It's not time for that?
You can promote something right now.
Yeah, I'm doing a show. I don't know when this is coming out, but...
This is coming out... When is this coming out?
On the 18th.
On the 18th.
Okay. Well, tomorrow night...
Oh, shit.
On May 19th, I'm performing at Catch One LA, and I'm opening up for Smoke Dizza, who's a very dope rapper. If you like rap music, you should come to the show, because it's going to be lit.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So now are you just like performing music all about town?
Yeah. It's funny. Like I said, I'm a writer or whatever, and I like everything, but the pandemic happened and we weren't really performing as comedy as much.
Yeah.
And I just started doing music again, and then
love that.
It's hard for me to do something and not show it to people.
Yeah.
So once I did that, I was like, well,
I mean, getting feedback is like so important
in
terms of like when you create something that you want someone to take in. I think it's important.
Yeah, and I always was insecure about it because I'm like, no one's gonna take me serious. Like there's like YouTube videos of me doing silly, humping laundry on the sketches or whatever. But I think we're in a different time. I think people don't care. I think they just want to see they just want like what you like, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. I think my younger self will be very happy to know that I'm doing music again.
Well, I'm happy to know that you're doing music again.
Thank you. You've been so sweet today. Thank you for
today.
You gave me so much validation.
Today I'm being sweet. Tomorrow, you never know. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And thank you so much to everyone who listened. Please write us in. Please write us into seniorsuperlativespod@gmail.com. I love when I have Tevi read your emails to us. It's really fun. Highlight of the show, outside of my guest. And, come to my shows at the Elysian Theater in Los Angeles, June 19th and 20th. Come see me at Littlefield, July 27th in New York City. And otherwise, stay cool, never change. Until next time, bye.
That was a Headgum podcast.